It's not. I have a hard stop at 4:30. I'm getting on plane going to Alex Becker's mastermind.
Yeah, it looks like we're good on
so
audio and we're
Wow.
good on everything.
Yeah.
You guys are clear to take off, Chief.
You're making it live?
It is live.
All right, cool.
Fantastic.
Send campaign. Go next. Oh, your face is all over my screen. Send now. Be sure to pin it to the top.
I'm pinning it now.
All right, let's just double check everything. We'll just. This is always like the mini heart attack of like, is Mark Zuckerberg going to make this work today?
Yep. Can totally relate.
And okay, cool, it works.
Oh, that's us right now.
All right,
look at that.
How fun is that?
Beautiful.
All right, so we can just like pause that. And what I'm going to do is every once in a while we can like look back and do like Q&A if we feel like it.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
in the meantime, I'm just going to like turn it the other way so we don't like stare at it. But you just had somebody renew today, right?
Renewing today.
Renewing or like
Yeah.
continuing like their like 20 grand. Is that right?
So they pay anywhere between. I started him at 10,
Mm-hmm.
and he's paid as much as 25. But depending on what he wants for the month, it'll be anywhere from 19.5 to 25.
But
yeah.
it's like about 20, right?
Yeah,
It never
call
goes
it-
like 2 to 40, right?
We have not crossed 40 yet, but
Okay.
we're optimistic.
That's so cool. So my the car wash guy, like we were talking about before we went live, he used to write me an actual check.
Yes.
Like, I'd have to send him an invoice, and it was FreshBooks, but we would never pay by FreshBooks. Like he'd always like see it and then write a manual check and then put in a fucking envelope and send it, and it was always late, right? It was
Yep.
always like 2 weeks later. So
Yep.
it was still money, so I can't complain. But that's how it works sometimes. Yeah.
So you stop the campaign. So some of these bigger clients, and I'd love to talk to you about like how you get them, and
Yeah.
it's a really long sales cycle. So you gotta know what you're doing, and you've got to stick with it in the deal. But some of these bigger clients, if they with that 2-week delay, it's happened with us probably
Yeah.
for the lifetime of both of our
Always.
20K
There's
plus
always
clients.
a fucking
It's like a
gap.
2 week, so it's really like every month and a half. But
Yeah.
they're happy. They're also they're in their own lane, right?
I've learned that if I bitch about small things, they start bitching about small things. So I just like, fine, pay me 2 weeks late. I don't care. I just pause the campaign.
Exactly.
And then they freak out. And I'm like, that's because you didn't pay. And they're like, oh, okay, sorry. And then they write.
Oh
the
yeah,
check and
shit
they
was
do it.
paused at 9 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Like to be able to say that, like, no, you didn't pay. So and so turning off the account.
Yeah.
How did you find your 20K account? Because the way I found my 10K account was I just go to Chambers of Commerce's, like I meet people in person.
Yeah.
Like I've never gotten a successful deal from like cold emailing or cold call or nothing like that.
Wow.
Do you like you run cold email?
So our acquisition strategies are we have DMs on Facebook and Instagram that go out every day. We have cold email that goes out every day. We have Facebook ads that go out. We're going to have direct mail soon. We have voicemail drops that go out intermittently.
Yeah.
And I used to do a lot of the networking, not in the agency business, but I actually started. That's how I got my first client. Was through that networking.
Meeting people in person.
Meeting people in person. I was
Yeah.
in a different direct selling company.
Yeah.
And I walked in. I was selling a Nagic Kangen water machines. You familiar?
I thought it was Kangen or something.
Kangen.
Yeah, something like that. Is that the $3,000 water machine that like?
No, it's $5,000
Oh, it's
water machine
okay,
that
yeah.
actually, ionized, alkalized water.
Yeah.
So I'll hook you guys up. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But so I actually, when I was selling those at the beginning of 2016, I watched my buddy Adam Wenig, who hit 2 Comma Club, and I'm like, holy shit.
With the machines or with something else?
With something else, but he was also starting to sell this through digital online marketing.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, I'm hustling. I'm going to these Chamber of Commerce. I'm doing all these things, and
Yeah.
I'm still making sales, but
It's not like this moment, right?
white space on the calendar is the devil.
Yep.
And I'm like, I need to do what you're doing,
Is that
dog.
a Grant Cardone phrase?
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about Uncle G today.
Yeah.
And some of the tactics I want to share with you guys are things that I paid, $4,000 to learn. And as long as you're tuning in, you're going to get to learn all of them.
Someone told me, and I think it was Ravi Abuvala, who also does Grant Cardone stuff. What he does as soon as he meets a person, as they're leaving, he records the voice message, like a video message that he's going to send them 2 or 3 days later, and then uses that to follow up. Is that like one of the things?
Yeah, that's one of the things I
That's
do
one of the-
all
yeah,
the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
And it's extremely effective because no one else is doing it. Nobody
Correct.
has the cojones.
Yeah, the testicular fortitude. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
to do that. So back to your original question.
Yeah.
How did we get this 20K client originally?
No, go back to like how you met like Adam Wenig and all that, because I was following him, I think, for like 6 months, and then I see him in person at Bob Mangan's event. That's where I met you.
Yeah.
Right. So like going back to your story about like you're doing direct selling. right? That's how
Yes.
you got started with like the sales side, right?
Well, so even further back, age 21, 6 years ago, 2012, the day the world was supposed to end, December 21st,
Yep,
2012,
Yeah.
I get the network marketing call.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, I've got a business opportunity for you. I think you would kill it.
Yeah.
You ever get that call?
No.
Okay, so this is my first exposure to entrepreneurship.
Does this mean now I'm gonna start getting biz op calls? Like as soon as somebody
Code red, code red. No, but this is like how I got started with everything.
Mhm.
And it was my really good friend from home. And I said, what is it? He said, I can't tell you. We got to meet up. This was
Right.
like right before finals, junior year of college for me.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And he's like, I can't tell you. I'm like, what do you mean you can't tell me? I'm in. Like
Right.
I was already in no matter what. So anyways, network marketing, Vima, if you guys are familiar.
Yeah.
That's how I met Adam. And then actually, so I knew of him through that business, and then
Gotcha.
he called me, left me a voicemail on my cell phone, which is actually how I acquired my girlfriend as well. I left her a voicemail on her
drop.
cell
Yeah,
phone.
perfect, yeah.
Isn't that funny? So there's a lot of like good like little marketing things I guess I've subconsciously or purposely done just with everything because
Yeah.
they work. And he left me a message. He said, "Hey, can you come speak at my event? I hear that you're doing really well. Can you talk about like the invite?" Like,
Yeah.
network marketing. I was like, "Yeah, I'm down to come talk at your event, but I don't want to talk about the invite. Like, I'm there. Great."
Right.
He's like, "Okay, great. So you're coming. You're gonna be talking about the invite, and we'll see you there."
It's like this is what you're doing.
So then, whatever, we did that. That's how we got acquainted. That was maybe 2013.
Yeah.
And then we stayed in touch. We got back in touch with Enagic.
Mm-hmm. They do the water machines.
Enagic Kangen water
Gotcha,
water
yeah,
machines.
yeah.
No one really, we don't really do that business anymore. I mean, I'll sell one here and there, just
Yeah.
super sparsely.
Yeah.
But so got started in that business. Saw him hit 2 Comma Club with his own consulting
Yep.
stuff, and I was like, "Holy shit, man! Like, I gotta get involved with what you're doing because this
Yeah.
is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, amazing, and like if you can do it, I can do it."
That's like the fundamentally like weird thing that my brain has evolved into. Like I remember like Grant Cardone, Alex Becker, Russell Brunson. I remember being targeted by those people 4 or 5 years ago, but it was so hilariously far away. It was like pseudo celebrity. Like
Right.
it was not achievable.
Right.
But now, like when you meet somebody in person, you're like maybe I could do it. It becomes like super real.
Right.
And so like when I started meeting people that were doing like $100,000 or $200,000, $300,000 a month, like Nick Robbins has been here. Like his agency is doing $250K a month.
Yeah.
Like that's not like a hidden number. Like it's on his fucking Facebook page and his website. Like just so everybody knows, like I'm a real agency. And he was sitting here was like, oh my God, I could do that number. Like it became real
Yep.
when I meet people in person. So I guess that's what happened to you, right?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Originally in network marketing, again in like digital marketing, and yeah. So then I got involved, with ClickFunnels, and just it was sort of a combination between purchased courses and getting around the right people and
Yeah.
conferences and just like being really intentional with it. And then all the advertising funnels, follow up, all that stuff I made on myself with my own money, building my Enagic direct sales business.
Gotcha.
Here was the epiphany. I've learned the business cycle, which is marketing, advertising, creating a lead,
Yeah.
sales cycle, repeat. That's
Yep.
the business cycle. And I was also doing the sales cycle, which is, create a contact, do a demo, make a proposal, close, follow up, repeat.
Like the marketing and the sales side.
Right. So I was generating my own leads.
Yeah.
I was calling the leads, going to sell them a product, and I got burnt out after a year and a half. It's like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like I had the whole water kit, super compelling sales presentation, a lot of sales, but
Yeah.
I was just burnt out. And I was like, ding, like why don't I just sell the business cycle to business owners? This is when like the Dan Henry course was really popular.
Yep.
This was like and so this was early 2017, late 2016. And back to what you were saying about networking in the community, that's how I made a lot of these Enagic sales. I'd go to these events.
Yeah.
And I met a chiropractor who had an Enagic machine.
Yeah.
And we really hit it off. And so one day I was like, damn, I haven't really made much money this month. It sucks.
Yeah.
And I just cold walked into her business.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my God, Scott, how you doing?
Oh, because you met her before.
I had known her before.
Gotcha.
Through,
Okay. Yeah.
Through networking.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Let me show you around. Not, hey, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Just, hey, welcome. Let me show you around. We got this, we got that, 20 minutes later, I'm like, okay, doc, let me tell you why I'm here today.
Yeah.
And I explained what I was doing with the Nagic and how she loves the Nagic and blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, I want to get into this business and I think I could really help you out.
That was Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Facebook ads. Yep. And to a funnel, to a Google spreadsheet,
Yep,
right? Like
yep.
super elementary. And she's like, oh, that's so, she's like, you don't understand. Like, I was praying to the universe that this would happen. And like, she's like, I just signed up for this thing with this guy, Russell Richard. She's like, check this out.
Yeah.
She pulls out the ClickFunnels t-shirt. She's like, I just
That's
signed up
so
for this.
funny.
She's like, you have no idea I was praying on this. I'm like, no, you have no idea because this is mutual.
Perfect.
And this was in May. That will be 2 years ago.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. What happened?
Oh no, I thought that the audio was on this entire time.
Oh, okay.
And you're good.
Oh, we're good. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We're doing great.
So you were doing the direct selling, right? Getting your feet wet, trying to figure it out, and realize you were very quickly getting burnt out because you were doing the marketing side and the sales side. So you're generating the lead and then trying to service lead, turn it into a customer, right?
Exactly.
And you're like, you know what? I know I'm getting burnt out and I need to do something different. And you end up walking into a chiropractor's office that you already know.
Yep.
With the intention of saying, I can sell you that marketing side, right? That's what you're calling like the sales side or the business cycle.
The business cycle is
business
marketing,
cycle.
advertising, creating a lead.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah, great. Let's fine. Let's talk. And then what?
No, she's like, oh my God, yeah, let's do it.
Right.
And she's like, I showed her my price, $1,500 a month, right?
Right.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
And that's still a great price point for some clients.
Yeah.
Because it's high enough where you make enough for whatever you're delivering, which is, if you're offering something at that price, it should be a small deliverable.
Correct.
But it's low enough where they could keep you rolling for a while.
Yeah. Like that's a starter kit type dollar, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she said, is there, I like it. I'm in. She's like, is there anything you can do on price?
Yeah.
And I go, nope.
Nope.
And she said, okay. And then the next day she wrote me a check and we started. The first day we turned the ads on, 9 leads.
Perfect.
And I was like, we did this offer where we went in, I hired a videographer, filmed her, massage offer plus whatever, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. Day 1, 9 leads. I'm like,
Was it the normal $21 like X-rays, spinal analysis or something like that? Like the standard $20?
yeah,
no,
like
something else.
$27 massage plus
Gotcha.
back scan.
Yeah, something like that. Like there's the standard Chiro offer, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a
that-
standard. It was a variation of the standard Chiro offer with a video campaign and massage.
Beautiful. That's absolutely fantastic. So that proved to you that it was working, right?
It proved to me, holy crap, we really have something here.
Yeah. And flash forward to today, you guys are about to break how much per month?
So right now we're at $50K a month.
At $50K a month.
Some
right?
some months it's 45, some months it's 60.
Yeah.
Depending on some of these big guys when they come in. And,
Yeah.
And
if it's that odd 2 week that they write the check. Yeah.
yeah. But
That's so cool. How long between when you got your first client at 1,500 to today when you're about to break or about breaking 50K? A year and a half now? 2?
So it's funny because I had this client. I got this client in May or June of 2017.
Yeah.
And I was still selling a Nagic through the end of 2017. And
Yeah.
then something in November 2017, like light bulb, like, holy crap, this client has been paying me $1,500 a month. And I've put in maybe an hour a month and they're super happy.
Yep.
And I'm like overlooking this. What the hell's the matter with me?
Yeah.
And I got really, really serious about it. I would say, right at the beginning of 2018. So yeah, called about year and 4 months.
So just over a year, you went from realizing having a $1,500 a month client is awesome.
Amazing,
perfect. Don't have to really work that hard. Once it's working, stop touching it.
Yep.
Right. And then growing to 50K a month, which
Yep.
is like absolutely insane. You mentioned earlier that there's something about like getting your client happy to hear your pitch and your price or something like that. Like, is that what you used on her? Is that something you developed at Grant Cardone, or like that was a bullet point they were talking about, right?
Yeah, so that's a little bit of this. Like, it's a little bit of, your own brain power, but
Yeah.
mostly the brain power of great people that, you know how that all works.
Yeah.
So here's the deal, especially in agency land, what I've found, because I used to do, so the back end of 2017 when I was selling a Nagic, and all this is important and all relates, we were actually just like selling it as like an affiliate, like high ticket coaching program. So it was
Gotcha.
not even about the water. It was about, let me get you into a phone call, application, webinar lead,
Yeah.
and let me use the Russell Brunson high ticket
Gotcha.
sales, right?
Yeah.
And essentially what we were doing was selling people into a phone sales program, and the average Joe, tough business.
Yeah.
So wait, what's your question? I'm
So
such
like
a space cadet.
yeah, that's fine. So like, so one of the challenges that I have is that like I'll say, hey, Mr. Johnson, it's $5,000.
Okay.
They're not excited. They don't want to hear it. They haven't a clue. But you got a way to get somebody excited about. Like,
Yeah.
getting pitched and paying
Yeah.
your proposal, right?
So here's exactly how you do that. So what we do is a two-step close. We do a discovery call and then a close call.
Yeah.
And I'll say something like, all right, so here's our process, because you should be able to advertise your sales process, because what I've found, and here's why I made that comparison about the high ticket sales, people in high ticket sales land, you need to kind of put them in a warm bath, throw some salt in, some good flavors, like stir the pot, like it's okay. Well, that's kind of what that whole script is. Let's call a spade here a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's like an emotional buying a transformation. Whereas these business owners, they more deal with logic.
Yeah.
And they can
Oh, that's interesting. That's the difference.
right.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
So they can appreciate you being very logical and very to the point.
Yeah.
And some people, okay, like literally I was on a phone call the whole way down, and I had the call yesterday, and then today I had the call with our ads guy, like the three of us, and this motherfucker said, you know, it would be better maybe if I asked the questions on this call. And I had to bite my tongue so I wouldn't like throw my phone out the window.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end, he was just like, okay, wow, I want to work with you guys. How do we make this work?
Yeah.
And about price, right? So discovery call. Here's how you set the stage. Okay, here's our process. I need to learn about what you're doing, what works, what doesn't work, what the goals are, how much you spend, what's the lifetime value.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about what we do, and then from what we gather here today, my team and I will put something together for you.
Yeah.
Okay? And then on our next call,
Gotcha. You do a 2-call close. Yeah.
so I'm setting the stage in the first couple things out of my mouth.
So you set the agenda almost immediately. Like, this is what we're doing in the call. This is why we're here. This is how it's going to work.
Have to set the agenda.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on our next call, you know, I'll go through with you we'll put together a proposal for you, a few options for you.
Yeah.
And we'll go through that on our next call.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Perfect.
Great. So
Awesome.
now you've agreed with me in the first.
First, yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
And so I get on the close call, and just like you were showing me in the other room, whiteboard.
Yeah.
And like I just told you about, I just ordered this I'll still be at my standing desk, backdrop, whatever.
But you'll be writing on there, and then it appears on the screen.
Yes, sir.
Kind of like how an iPad and Zoom share screen type thing.
Something like that. I'll
right.
figure it out today when I get it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So when I get to that close call, the first thing I'll do, hello, greeting, right? You always got to do the greeting, which is hello, not just like, hey, I need help. Like if you ever notice, here's another interesting thing. Like some people are like if you ever need something in a public place or whatever, hey, excuse, like a question.
Yeah.
Like, no, you need to do a greeting first.
Yeah.
And the greeting is, hey, that's the greeting, right?
Yeah.
So you have to do that. Very important.
On the sales call.
Yeah, of
Gotcha.
course. With anything, with any interaction. So anyways, first thing I do, greeting, then recap. So last time you told me it's a lifetime value of $5,000. You have SEO, you have email marketing, you have this, you have that. Okay, great. So guys, here's the deal. I'm going to show you two options today. I'm going to show you a $4,000 a month and a $5,000 a month option. And at the end of this, it's your job to make sense of the money, not mine.
So you know what I like about that so much is you tell them how much it costs. Like you're not like hiding about it. It could cost this. Who knows? Depends. Like no, it's $4,000 or it's $5,000. And so I do the same exact thing. I say you're probably wondering how much this costs. It's $3,000, but I don't say it that way. I sell it top down. Like everyone says, like, what if I got it elsewhere? I tell them how much my competitors charge, and like I'm always like the best bang for the buck. But what I really, really, really like is the fact that I don't know if like I was taught this way or you're taught this way, but the way the sales is supposed to work is somebody has a problem, and then they approach you on a solution. You drive that agenda. It's up to you to say, here's what we're doing. I'm going to diagnose you. That's your phone, the questions on the phone.
Right.
Doctor, lawyer, accountant, they do the same exact shit.
Yeah.
We're going to ask you some questions. You don't run in trying to like squeeze their neck like buy for me. No, we're going to figure out if it's a good fit.
Yeah.
And then great. I got two options for you. $4,000 or $5,000. Continue.
Yeah. and I'll say like, hey, just so there's no surprises, I'm gonna show you a $4,000 and a $5,000 option, and I'm always experimenting with pricing, 3,500, 4,500, 5,500, $6,000.
Yeah.
And at the end of this, it's your job to make sense of the money,
Beautiful.
not mine. Sound good?
Yeah.
Great.
Is that a Grant Cardone thing too?
Of course.
Beautiful.
And so one of the reasons why you need to do this, first of all, you cannot be afraid of this, and you need to do it because if you don't tell them what the price is,
Yeah.
they're going to create in their head during your presentation what it's what it's valued at, what the price is.
Yeah.
And then whether that's above or below, like then you'll deal with that in the form of an objection or a complaint at the end.
Yeah.
So
Is that why people why they ghost you, or like, I'm not sure, I gotta think about it, ask the spouse, because they're trying to match the number? Is that like the right way of thinking about it? Like, that's why you get objections. It's because they're imagining this program costs $4,000, but you're asking for 10, right? That's what you're talking about.
yeah,
That type of idea.
why do people do? I don't know, man. People do some funky
Brains
shit.
are weird, but go on. Yeah.
Yeah, so you just want to and even when they become a client, right? It's all about managing expectations.
Yeah.
So you're doing that, and this is the difference between being a professional and being an amateur,
Yeah.
and not being afraid and sticking with it, like in the close. And like today on the phone on the ride over here, I said, "Hey, Carmelo, if you spend $4,000 with us, what's the worst thing that could happen?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of like, I forget what he said. He's, oh, well, my budget tied up, this, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's over budget, whatever. I was like, all right, well, if you were to spend $4,000 with us, what would be the best thing that would happen? Oh, well, we'd have the quiz funnel, and we'd have the leads, and we had this, and that,
Yeah.
and this. Great.
When do you want to get started?
Yeah. How do you
Yeah.
want to take care of this? When do you
Yeah.
want to get started? So, yeah, man, it's a funny game because I think one of the biggest things is like you're mental about it. And if you don't have it right in your head, and if you're not comfortable with it yourself, then it's never going to come out with confidence.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to do business with someone who
Is not confident.
and
Yeah.
who doesn't, stand behind their product.
So you have a 2-call close. The first call is we're going to diagnose you, do the onboarding docs, ask you a bunch of questions, and then we're going to have another phone call tomorrow and present you 2 options. You do the phone, you do all the questions, all that stuff. You call them the next day. You say, all right, Mr. Johnson, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to show you 2 plans. One costs 4, one costs 5. It's up for you to make sense of the numbers, hear how the plans work, something like that, right?
Correct.
And when you're charging $4,000 to $5,000, that's Facebook ads plus a bunch of other stuff, or is that just something completely like off the table that I'm not even aware of?
Well, speaking of off on the table, let me grab something here. So here's something really cool we just started doing for guys. So we deal a lot in direct response land, right? Generate a lead.
Yeah.
And you want to call your service something novel or unique, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of these business owners, you know this, your group knows this, everyone knows this, is when they think marketing, they think, let me pass out flyers,
Yep.
let me do this, let me post on my Facebook.
Yep.
Why are you doing that, dude? It's silly. So in our presentations, we're really hammering out branding versus direct response,
Yeah.
So again, always experimenting with price and some delivery things. And so the first month, we're not doing any lead gen. We're just doing build their website and interview them and put them on the cover of their own
There you
magazine.
go. That's so cool.
Because let me ask you a question, Dr. Jeff.
Yeah.
If I am a lead generated online and I walk into your business,
Yeah.
I'm still a little skeptical. I'm still in the appraisal phase. I'm on the fence. Should I,
Right.
get my knee injected by you or whatever? If I walk in and I see your beautiful face on the cover of your own brochure style magazine,
Right.
maybe, just maybe, it will move the needle forward a little bit.
So your $4,000 to $5,000 package includes Facebook ads, but that doesn't kick in until after the first month.
Day 31.
Day 31. In the intermediate, you're building out all the reasons why their Facebook ads wouldn't work. Their website is bad, right? They don't have the magazine. They don't have the follow-up. You're building all that stuff up, right?
Exactly.
So what's in, so when I do my wallet out campaign, that's what I call it. Like my Facebook ads program is called the wallet out campaign, right? It's got 7 steps. We do customer research. We do targeting. We do landing page, thank you page, soap opera sequence, competitor research, Facebook ad. Like there's 7 stages to it.
Nice.
Right? So you have your own Facebook ads program, but you also do a website. You also do this. What
Yep.
else are you doing for the $4,000 to $5,000?
I know you had Rob and Alex on the program recently,
yep.
so we use his program.
Yeah.
And
High level. Yeah.
High
you
level
can say it.
is awesome.
Yeah, it's very,
Everybody,
very cool. Yeah.
I don't know if I could say this, but use my affiliate link. No,
No,
use
no,
his affiliate link.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's an amazing program, and that's become a big part of our sales process is using that tool.
Yeah.
And so part of that first month is like building that out and
Gotcha.
voicemail drops and like working with the staff. It's doing this. It's making ebooks. It's doing their website and it's a lot. So all that does take 30 days. And with the people that we sign, like, okay, it takes our design and dev team. It probably only takes them 3 to 5 days to do something like this and a website.
And they're writing the copy? Or you're
So here's how we do this. So we interview the staff, we interview the figurehead, the doctor, or the
I hate to
entrepreneur.
interrupt, guys.
Yeah.
But there was a weird section where I guess the rest of the building was using internet at the same time, and the entire stream went down.
Okay.
The audio is still there, but you're still live right now.
Okay.
But if you just want to show the magazine again,
Oh, man.
it really went down as the magazine was being opened.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So if you want to just maybe really quickly touch back on that.
Medical marketing today. This Alejandro, right?
Alejandro Rodrigo.
There you go.
Yep.
So that.
Yep. So the way that we do this, so Alex and I actually did a speaking event recently, right in Weston, and we've since closed about like 23 grand in business from that event.
That's
which was
so effing cool.
2-3 weeks ago.
Fantastic.
Freaking awesome. Really excited. Lots of cool stuff to come from that. And so one of the things we were talking about is like our branding and our promotion. And my girlfriend had the connection there, and she said, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And I'm like, I could do this by myself, but I could go further with a team. And so brought him in, brought Lyle Horst in, and we did this event. And we wanted to kind of showcase what we offer. So the first month we're doing the magazine. Yeah. And it's more so like because think about it, business owners, for them, they want the warm and fuzzy also. Yep. And so Facebook ads and lead generation, although that's what we know will help grow the business directly, it doesn't necessarily take care of all their need for the warm and fuzzy. Yep. Warm and fuzzy silver platter, here you go.
Yep. And what I like about this, by the way, is this will always work according to me because I'm amazing. Of course he would want to read it. And it just sits there. There's no direct measure result tied to it whatsoever. But they fucking love it.
And you know what? Every time they walk in to their office, their place of work, and they see this, they think of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every time.
Every time.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So go on.
Okay, I was going to explain to you the process of how we create this.
Correct, yeah.
So the process is we schedule an interview with them. So my project manager will interview them, and then that will get sent to Rev, and then that will get sent to our content writer who will rewrite it like article style. Yeah. And then that will get sent to our design team. Yeah. And then with any type of branding stuff, it's a pain in the ass because you go back and forth with the client. Yeah. Ads, funnels, okay, don't look at it. We're ready to go.
Yeah. But God forbid there's a hanging Chad. Oh, we can't use that type of your. There has to be like a different word in there. I don't like these pictures. Like, it's a whole thing. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of that. But then like this is the finished product. So, yeah, that's kind of our process.
That's so cool. So you do Facebook ads on day 31. Up until then, you're building out things like their website. Do you do like a whole website or just like one-click build WordPress type thing?
So it is a template, but it's completely customized.
Gotcha.
Custom content. We could do logos.
Gotcha. Yeah. All that stuff. So you build the website. You interview the staff. You set up this. Is there anything else that happens between day 0 and day 31, like pre-Facebook ads?
Setting up high level training.
Yeah.
And then ebook, which is basically like a bite-sized version of their website.
Gotcha.
Just in an ebook.
So are you going in saying like you're gonna buy a like 6-month training from us or 6-month program, and in it the first month is gonna be all the sales training and stuff like that? Or are you saying this is the program, it's a year long, it's 30 days? Like, do you have a time frame that like you hint at with your program?
No, but that's a great idea.
Yeah.
See, like I'm still learning every day too.
So this is what I learned from Robin, who runs High Level. He's like, look, you know how I keep my clients for like 6, 9, 12 months? I just say it's a 12-month wallet out campaign. He has his own version. I'm just like ad-libbing. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's so fucking smart. So now I'm pitching a 90-day wallet out campaign instead of just the wallet out campaign. Right. So it's 90 days. It's $10,000. Yes, you can pay over 3 months. It's effectively a 3-month contract, right? Right. I can't stop them from not renewing every month, but that's just how it works, right?
Yeah. So I definitely frame it like that, but that's a great point. That's something like, see, like we're still the people you have on the show. We're just trying to figure it out.
We're just normal human beings.
Yeah, like
failing forward. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're month to month, and people like that. And I say, look, it keeps us engaged and involved with you, and vice versa. Because if it's not working for you, it's probably not working for us.
Yeah.
But doing it this way, like they're at least staying 2 months.
Yeah.
And then typically 2-3 months of staff falling on their face and you coaching, and it's okay. Warm bath. Here we go.
It's fine. It's gonna be okay. We're just gonna train you how to like pick up the phone. You're gonna know how to not ruin a lead. It's gonna be great.
We're gonna train you how to do your job, which you should have done prior to us ever existing, anyways.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think I have pretty good retention. My retention is over 6 months on average.
Beautiful.
I mean, I have one guy that I will probably fire from this past month. They just, whatever. And I'm not even at that point yet, but I want to be at the point where it's like, you're hired, you're fired, you're fired. Like, come on, this is the tribe. This is, and I think we all strive to get to that point.
Yeah, I think so. So the way you sell your Facebook ads program is you have your own branded name of a program, right? And you say, look, the first 30 days is us building your website so it matches your brand.
Yeah.
Building out this so there's something on your desk.
Yep.
Creating an ebook, which is just something like a redacted version or a shrunken version of their website.
Yep.
And training your staff and setting the back end so you don't mess up when leads come in. Isn't that what you want, Mr. Customer? Something like that, right?
Yes.
I first heard about that process from Bob Mangat. That's where I met you.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the only Facebook ads guy I know that isn't selling Facebook ads the first month. Because I came from the Dan Henry side, which is Facebook ads the whole way.
Right.
And it was Facebook ads. Then I would sell the training on how to not fuck up their next batch of leads.
Right.
But he just does it the other way around and probably makes more money than me. But this is absolutely fantastic.
So I've invested in a lot of coaching programs, and it's all about how you like set and frame the relationship. Right?
Correct.
So if the only thing they can measure is the ROI on the leads you generate them, then that's all you'll ever be, is a commodity.
Right.
Versus if you could do stuff like this and host their website and things like that,
it'd be a lot harder to fire you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now there's more internal operations and expense and cost and headache to do stuff like this, but it's like pick the game you want to play and then strive to be the best player.
Right, because now you're charging $5,000 a month versus like a $2,000 Facebook ads only contract. Right.
Right. And so you keep saying Facebook ads, so that's interesting. So what I'm really careful about and particular about is I'll always say, look, Facebook and social, and I'll say social versus Facebook, Instagram.
Oh, interesting. Gotcha.
Yeah. I'll say, look, social's just the traffic source.
Yeah.
The real magic is in the funnel and is in the follow-up.
Yeah.
That's the real magic to our system. Anybody can spend $1,000 on Facebook ads, throw crap on the wall, and see what sticks. But this whole program's not effective unless this, strategic choreography, this whole system that I just showed you, this quiz funnel, this follow-up, this email, this phone call, that's what you're getting for what you're investing in. So Facebook's just the traffic source.
Right. Facebook is one of the 10 things we're doing for you, right?
Right. And I think that's where people get tripped up, and I think that's where the people that we're trying to serve get have a wall up.
Right.
Is because they don't understand Facebook. Mm-hmm. They don't understand social. And you say Facebook ads agency, and they won't even hear you out. And you could be the best guy in your area doing that, and you can really help them. But because you're speaking a language, you're not meeting them where they're at, you may never ever get the chance to serve them, to sell them.
Interesting. So you get somebody on the phone, you do a 2-call close. You say it's gonna be $4,000 or $5,000. You're always experimenting with the price, trying to find like the right thing. What I found, by the way, is like weird as it sounds, the more you charge, the less headache your client is.
Yes.
I don't know why. It doesn't make any effing sense. When I was charging my car wash guy $10,000 a month, the biggest problem that we had was that one of his locations wasn't calling back the leads. One of the 10 locations, right? They were still making more money, and he would send a check late every now and then. He would never bitch about the leads. He would never say everything is horrible. He was the best client ever. Yeah. And I was charging him $10,000 a month. I have a chiropractor right now paying me $1,500 a month. Doesn't stop texting me. I can't fucking, it blows my effing mind.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Are you finding the same thing? Like, the more you charge, the easier it is for your client?
My highest paying clients are the best and easiest to work with.
Yeah. And you got somebody paying you $20,000 a month now.
Yeah. And then our other $20,000 a month, he's six grand times 4.
Beautiful, because he's got 4 locations.
Yeah, well, they have a lot more, but I'm working at it. Yeah.
We'll get there, right? We'll get there.
Yeah.
So then you turn on the direct to measure result Facebook ads. Like day 31, you're like, all right, now we're ready for Facebook ads.
Yeah.
You start generating phone calls, and you use a program called High Level to keep everybody accountable. Right?
Yes.
What I really liked about High Level, and this is a shameless plug for Robin, like I really think it's really, really
Shameless plug. We love you guys. You're amazing.
It's like absolutely fantastic. Like the way my brain wraps around that is like you can automatically set up a 9-month follow-up for all your leads. Text, email, voicemail drop, phone call, all of it. Like just you do it once, you can automatically follow up for like however long you want.
Yeah.
Right. And the biggest challenge I always had is my businesses are bad at follow-up. And when they didn't, I didn't get paid.
Yep.
So I had to build out like sneaky surveys and welcome texts and soap opera sequences to keep these people on a string calling back the business, right? And you use High Level to do that, which is absolutely fantastic.
Amazing.
You train the sales staff on how to not fuck it up, even though they should, right? And you're building out the warm and fuzzies with all of this.
Right.
Have you ever had a client be like, I only want this and not Facebook ads? Or a client say, I only want Facebook ads and not this? Like, are there anybody that like pick and choose, or you say this is the whole program, tough shit?
Yeah, that's a really great point. I deal with that a lot.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're trying to work on. Now, there will be some people where they have a great website and they have great digital presence, and I won't want to even mess with that and take that on.
Yeah.
And that's a maybe 20, 30%. So it's whatever, decent amount.
Yeah.
So with those people and what I used to do with just direct response, because some people are just looking for direct response, but then you show some people the whole package and they're like, oh, there's a great book called To Sell is Human by Daniel Pink.
Yeah.
And he talks about the true measure of a really great salesperson is make them aware of a problem they don't have.
Yep.
Or make them aware of a problem that they're not aware of,
Yep.
and then sell a solution around that problem.
Yeah.
So like some of this digital asset stuff, some of this high level automation stuff, some of this website conversion stuff, they're not aware that they have that problem.
Right.
And so some people that, 60, 70% of people that resonates with, and they go for, the full shebang.
Yeah.
Other people, it's a little bit of a negotiation, and it's like, all right, we'll do a $2,000 setup or a $1,000 setup and, first month. And
Yeah.
so I deal with that. Yeah. And that's kind of just a case by case basis.
That's the nature of the game. Like when you're selling a bigger package, some people will want to negotiate down or pick and choose or whatever. Like what I've discovered is when I say, no, it's a car. You can't run a car without all 4 tires. This is the 4th tire. And they go, oh, okay. And so like I've never sold a package like yours. I only sell my wallet out campaign, which is like, it's pretty tight the way it is.
Yeah.
Like when people try to pick and choose, like, I don't want the landing page, I go, it's a car. You need 4 tires. This is one of the tires. No matter what, the one that they didn't want is one of the 4 tires. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then magically they're like, fine. They write a check for like $2,900. But I don't have to deal with like all the back and forth with this. When I tried doing something like this, it was such an effing pain for me.
Right.
Because I don't care if you like it or you don't.
Right.
Put it in your office and use it. But the second it goes in your office, they magically like care how it looks and branding and all that. I had a nutritionist, like one of the worst clients I've ever had, like absolutely horrible. Like, thought he was a doctor, not a doctor, but he's a nutritionist. It's like a whole thing. But he ends up in a scenario where he hates direct to measurable results, even though that's what he bought. And I was like, wait, you
excuse me?
I was like, why did you buy? Like, this is direct to measure results. He's like, I know, but what I realized is I really, really, really want people to think that I'm good at my job. And I was like, oh my God. Like, we've got so many deep psychological issues right now, like from this like deep phone call. So you know what he does? He buys this instead. He wants people to feel good about buying from him. Feel good that he knows what he's doing. And now that addresses a problem in his business I was unaware of. I didn't have that on my onboarding doc. But it was this really weird moment of people realizing, oh, I thought that was water pouring. Like, I thought Becker just poured water on the carpet. It was like this really weird moment where I realized that sometimes what people buy isn't what they want. And like, as a good salesperson, you figure out the problem that they have, right? And so, like, we still text back and forth every now and then because he still wants leads, but he really, really, really wants to be on the front of a magazine. So now you have figured out, by the way, to deal with doctors who genuinely want to do this.
Yep.
And get the Facebook ads to get them results, which is like really, really cool.
Yep.
We also talked about on the headlines. I'm going to check them in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I was like, what are on the headlines, right? There was something you mentioned about, like, all of this makes complete and total sense if you have a full calendar, if you got people to sell to. but white calendars kill a business, right? Or blank calendars kill a business.
They do.
How do you get people hitting your calendar and like a full calendar and stuff like that?
Yeah, great question. So I hired my first VA back in November last year.
Yeah.
And now we have 3 VAs, a design team, and 1 employee.
Yeah.
And, well, the VAs are employees. They're awesome.
Yeah.
My whole team is rock star.
Perfect.
They're amazing. And when a client comes in and fills out the onboarding doc, the funnel gets built, this call gets booked, the website, or we're working on getting the website ordered automatically.
Mhm.
Funnel gets built, high level gets built, ads get built, this gets scheduled, all without me doing anything.
So that's just like a Trello board or something like that.
No, we don't use Trello. We use Basecamp and Slack.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's all systemized. And wait, what was your original question?
How do you get people hitting your calendar? Like
How do we lead generate?
Right,
How do
like-
we?
Like, because I've never been able to crack the code for local lead gen for myself.
Yeah.
So all I do now is I go to Chamber of Commerce and I warm up the audience by doing my 90-second videos and putting like $100 in the, like, just dropping a pin.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, "Are you the guy from the internet?" I was like, "You bet I am. Would you like me to do that for your business?" "Yes, please." Right?
Oh, that's
Like-
really
like,
smart, dude.
It's fucking fantastic. Like, you should steal the idea and do it. You can go to my business page, Jeff Miller's Marketing, and see the videos that I do. We shoot them right here. Becker shoots the whole thing.
So you go to the event
Yeah.
and you'll run a video
So
ad.
like the day before,
Yeah.
it's a mile around or 2 miles around. I'll spend like $50, $100, something like that, because I know if I get one yes, that's worth like the $100, right?
That's awesome.
And so they'll be like, "Do I know you from somewhere?" I'm like, "No, they don't. They probably know me from the internet." I go, "Did you see one of my ads?" They go, "I did." I was like, "Would you like me to run that for your business?" They go, "Yeah."
Brilliant.
And the reason why I'm like, that sounds so effing smart is because you mentioned earlier, advertise your sales process. Like,
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right there. So that's what I do. Yeah.
Awesome. So the way that one of the best ways that we pack the calendar is, so first of all, you got to figure out your messaging for your client that you're trying to serve. Like, for example, a dentist, and I don't work in dental, but
Yeah.
I'll just give you guys an example. A dentist doesn't want new patients. Well, of course they do, but let me ask you this. Would this be better?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll show you how you can fill your chair with people wanting implants. Or
That sounds better than patience. Yeah.
Right, because it's very specific. So what you have to do is you have to, and the only way you'll figure this out is through testing.
Mhm.
So you're gonna have to figure out what is the exact messaging to your avatar, and how can.
So Nick Robbins has been trying to bang that in my head this whole effing time. Like, get really, really, really specific of the person that you want to serve, and then your ads will work.
Yes.
Like, generic stuff will not get your intended result. Super, super specific allows people to pay you money. Go on.
Yeah. So I'm working with a really, really, really specific type of medical doctor right now.
Yeah.
And I scraped the list, ran some ads to it, spent $140, closed a $4,500 deal.
Absolutely fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That's because your ads were very, very specific.
Super specific. Like, people
Gotcha.
reading the ad copy who are not in this space, like, would not even understand what this shit means.
Perfect. They won't hit your calendar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what you have to do, number one, is you got to figure out that message. Then my second VA that I hired, their only job, their only role is to find these people on Facebook and Instagram and send them a direct message.
Interesting.
And what we did, and this will take, I think like, we're still working on our systems, and they're getting there, but you know, there's a long way to go still.
Yeah.
So, you know, Philippines, they speak great English, and they are grammatically correct 95% of the time. And
Yeah.
sometimes they're like, nope, we got to do this or this or
Like,
whatever.
they mess up the your, like, apostrophe RE instead of like an R or something like that.
Yeah, that and just little tedious shit, but whatever.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out your messaging for your niche. Then number two, I have my VA send maybe 20 a day. I think 20 is the compliance limit on Facebook,
Okay.
and then 20 on Instagram. So
20 DMs on Facebook to businesses.
yeah, and
Gotcha.
comments.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And the message I'll show you after the show here, like, people are like, yeah, here's my cell phone number, call me.
Really?
Swear to God. Yeah.
That's so cool.
So you really have to experiment and find, like, the right messaging.
Yeah.
And if it's right, the response will be right. So that's how we book a lot of appointments.
So if I was looking to get plumbers, I wouldn't say, would you like more plumbing jobs? I would say, would you like more floorboard installations or something, like something super specific job or something like that, right?
Yeah, like plumbing jobs is fine, not like more customers, like but like plumbing jobs, that's a little bit better, and then like floorboard installation, blah blah blah. I
Yeah.
know nothing about plumbing.
Yeah, no,
That's
we just a placeholder term. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably should use carpenters, but go on. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the more specific, the better, because it'll resonate. And yeah, it's funny. So I'm running that message, that same type of messaging in paid ads.
Yeah.
In LinkedIn, I forgot. We do LinkedIn too. LinkedIn automation, and in my VA DMing. And then what I train my VA on is we have a document where it's like response and then or condition and then response. So if the condition of the response is they say that they're interested but only leave their name and not phone number and email, you send this response. If the condition
interesting.
if the condition matches, I'm interested, here's my phone number, here's the response. So they're all like very specific, and most of the time we're just driving them to the booking link, and it's like language that matches the condition.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. So you're not like relying on the VA to ad lib. Like you're systemizing the response to drive the most conversions that you can.
Systemizing the ad lib and
Systemizing the ad lib. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll still jump in sometimes, and then we have a Slack channel called Outreach Responses where they'll post in and be like, hey, this person's saying this, it's not in the document, the condition document.
Yeah.
And sometimes people say crazy shit, and that's fine, and I'll just jump in.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so for $400 a month, that was the headline, how I generate appointments on my calendar every single day for $400 a month.
Yeah.
I pay her a little bit more now because she's doing a great job. Philippines, they're amazing.
Perfect. Yeah.
And they make a great living. And what's really cool is as you start to grow your business,
Yeah.
it's not just about you anymore. It's about your team and your contribution, and then your clients.
Yep.
So one of the niches that we serve, and I'm not gonna get into specifics, but it's in medical, and we're really the people that are signing new clients, the clients that are signing new patients, like we're literally saving people's lives.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that freaking
like,
nuts?
I don't like you can have an A+ world renowned rock star doctor and a patient that desperately needs it, and there's no connection at all until you come in. Like he doesn't know how to get his message out, and this person doesn't know how to respond. And like that's why like most marketing and sales is bad. I know that like 95% is waste of fucking money. But once you figure out how to build that real connection between a client and a customer, it fucking works. And I get responses all the time like, holy shit, I was going to close down my business tomorrow. And then all of a sudden I don't have to because we got 10 people coming in the next day, something like that. It happens all the time. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. So at this event that we just did, you probably have like one or two like clients that you become buddy with, and they're like your A1 day one, like So that for me, that's this guy Dr. Dave in Clifton, New Jersey.
Yeah,
I'm from New Jersey. And he literally, because this was back in spreadsheet days.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you again, High Level. He literally told me, he's like, I interviewed him May 11th last year.
Yeah,
still with me today. It's about to be May again.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, it's May 11th. We've signed 11 new patients. My accountant is calling me saying, where's all this money coming from? The business isn't in debt anymore. And like, dude.
Isn't it fucking cool?
Holy shit. Like, I was looking at the spreadsheet. I knew it was good, but I had no idea it was this good.
Yeah.
And, dude, that makes it all worth it. Like, Voxer from my client.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, I was looking at the financials from January to March, and my business grew tremendously. I can't thank you enough. Like, this is so amazing.
That's pretty fucking cool.
I'm like, wow, I get the chills, man. And I'm like, this makes it all worth it.
Yeah.
That's why we do this. And I think I've learned from some of my friends that are kind of into some woo-woo shit, you know? They're like, yo, like, take that shit
and just bathe in it.
Yeah, yo, because that's it's hard to put into words. Like, that makes everything worth it, dealing with all the bullshit and all that stuff.
That's fantastic. So going back to, you spend $400 a month and you pay a VA, right?
Yes.
And her job is to DM, comment, run LinkedIn automation, and do all sorts of manual stuff, specifically targeting a very, very specific type of customer, a client who has a very, very specific type of problem. Yeah. And so I think like one of the things that coming up for doctors is hydronucleic, something like for needs, right? Yeah. And that's what Nick Robbins is like now targeting, right? So he uses that. Like, are you looking for 3 to 5 more hydronucleic acid patients? Something like that.
Right.
And that gets chiropractors saying, yes, and I'm going to call you right now and schedule. So that's like the analogy where you're talking about. I'm not going to ask you like to spill the beans, but that's exactly what you're doing, that type of process, right?
Yeah, it's modeling that.
Yeah.
process. And I'm
Absolutely
a big
fantastic.
Nick Robbins fan, and with his chorus, and
Yeah.
absolutely. So
And so, are you also running ads for client acquisition too?
yes,
You are.
with
Okay.
the same type of messaging. Actually, today I'm gonna kind of fool around with the copy a little bit, switch it up. But yeah, same type of messaging, same sort of response.
And you're spending $400 or so and landing a $4,500 with client.
Well, I spent 140 on ads, landed a $4,500
$140 to 450. That's so fucking cool.
So cool.
That's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, man.
What else did we put on the bullet points?
Okay, let's talk about how I got the 20K client.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so with these bigger deals, really long sales cycle. Like think about if you're buying a home, it's $500,000 plus or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
That's a really long sales cycle. You know, show the house, title company, all that shit. I don't know. I have a bunch of friends in real estate.
Yeah.
It's a long sales cycle because it's a higher ticket. So the higher the ticket, the higher you want to charge. Just be prepared for that's going to be a longer sales cycle.
Yeah.
And so I got in touch with the C-level person at this company, this 30-plus location company. And, oh, yeah, I like it. Yeah, I think we're going to do it. Yeah. Like, never really any objection other than stall.
Yeah.
Didn't object to price. Yeah, we're just, like no clear objection for me to really handle other than their inability to make a decision.
Yeah.
Then LinkedIn automation hits this guy, Larry. And Larry is the clinic director for their Ormond Beach location in Florida by
Nice.
Jacksonville.
Nice.
And Larry sets up a call with me and I say, hey, Larry.
Independent of.
Chris.
Gotcha.
The C-level marketing guy.
Yeah.
And I start talking to Larry. And I say, hey, Larry, you know, this is all well and good, but we've already done this song and dance with Chris. I'm talking to Chris.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, why haven't we done anything yet? I'm like, that's a great question, bro.
You should make that work. Yeah.
Yeah. So then the three of us did the song and dance a little bit. This was a referral originally, but the LinkedIn automation with so the main takeaway for that bullet point is you got to really find your messaging,
Yeah.
like how it's going to appeal to that specific client, and that's the type of messaging that hit this guy Larry
Gotcha.
on LinkedIn. Chris was a referral, and you know, long story short, 4 months sales cycle, deal close. Month one, hello.
Yeah.
Month one, the single location. Then since then, it's been 4.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So so is your approach like you will have to spend a lot of time trying to find that 20K client, or is your approach saying get them to sign one location, eventually they will become a 20K client?
Yeah. So it's funny because I guess I wasn't thinking that big, and that's my bad. That's my fault. So my other 20K ish client, and again that's the 19.5 to 25.
Yeah.
He started at 10, and then he's like, oh, I want to add this, and this.
Great. I'll put it on the invoice.
Exactly.
Yeah. You got it. I'll put it on the invoice. I hate it when people say my client wants to do more stuff. Like, just send an invoice. Just send an invoice. Charge more. Just send an invoice.
Yeah.
That's
like,
how I
what?
upsell all my clients. Like, my bike shop guy came in at 2. Last month he paid 9.
Right. Nice.
Whenever he wants to do a thing, I say, great, I'll add it to your invoice, send it to him, he pays, I get started that same day. I don't like that whole idea of like, no, it's scope creep or whatever. Creep all you want. Keep adding, buddy. Like, just add, and I'll just keep invoicing you.
Do you know Alex Sharfin, the Momentum podcast?
No.
Oh, man. You're jumping on a flight after this?
Yeah. Like,
yeah. The Momentum podcast, Alex Sharfin. Start at episode 178.
Yeah.
Billionaire Code. He talks about there's 5 levels or 5 aspects to a business. There's lead generation, there's conversion, there's delivery, lead generation, lead nurture, conversion, delivery, upsell, cross-sell, resell.
Yeah.
So once they're sold, dude, second sale, that's so easy.
Yeah.
They already like you, they already trust you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just add more to the invoice. Yeah.
Add
that's
it
all
to
you
the
gotta do.
invoice.
But going back to like are you saying that like you just got to wait till they hit to get a 20K client? Like you just have to keep nurturing, or do you sign somebody at a normal rate and then just keep adding to the invoice?
Yeah, so both these people started at, I guess, what you'd call a normal rate.
Yeah.
But again, this is, and we work in stem cell. I could share that with you.
Yeah.
And you know, stem cell procedures are anywhere from 5 to 15 grand. So
Yep.
you could charge $5 grand.
And you really only need like one win for them to be like, your marketing is working.
Yeah. So so with both of those big clients, I would say they both start at the normal. And then as I've developed trust with them and built the relationship with them, they want to add more. Great. I'll add to the invoice.
Perfect. Absolutely fantastic. Let me just do a time check real fast. All right, we're good. So let's just check out the questions and all that fun
Let's
stuff.
do it.
But just kind of like for a quick summary, from what I heard from you,
Yeah.
like you got started in direct sales, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, I could make a lot more effing money. You met somebody that was an arm's length away that proved that it could work.
Yep.
And you realize that if I just walked into a business where I kind of knew the owner from beforehand and did a Facebook ads deal, it might work. You do the deal, you realize it's so much easier doing it this way than any other way, and you go all in, right? And what you've discovered is that, like, if you have a branded program like this, right?
Yep.
Where you're selling this and you're selling the sales training and all that fun stuff and the branding, the warm and fuzzy, you can get people paying a lot more money because you're just selling a lot more stuff. The way you do that is a tool called close. You do onboarding docs, you ask the question, see if this makes sense. You follow up the next day and say, I'm going to present you two options. It's not up to me to make sense of the money. It's up to you to make sense of the money. Here's your two programs.
Golden line.
Fantastic, right? Are there any like common objections you get to something like that? Like, oh, it just costs too much, it's not in the budget, or by then, like, you've already established it and it's going to work and they're going to sign?
Yeah, I mean, price is always an objection.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why I always experiment with price. Now, I've sold deals as high as $7,500 a month retainer outside these big guys. And we have one of those currently.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and we put like $2,000 to $2,500 that into ads, but whatever.
Yeah.
So common objections, price. Common objection. I always try to bring up the objections before they happen in the sales process. So I'll say,
I incorporate them into my presentation. You're probably saying, doesn't this cost a lot of money? Well, what if one of these turns into real life money? Wouldn't you be jumping up and down at that moment the second your marketing is working?
yes,
So I do the same exact stuff. Yeah, go on.
Awesome, dude. Yeah. So one of them is like, well, what if my business like can't handle this monster that you create? And sometimes like days when I'm super busy and call, client check-in, team call, I'm just like, what the hell have I created here? Holy shit. But one of the big objections that I like to hit on that the clients have is like, hey, this is going to cause problems in your business.
Yep.
Here's the biggest problem is,
Yep.
how does my staff follow up and how do we monetize this properly? I'm like, so that's why for the first month, we're doing check-in calls every week because, and you know, look, like, hey, based on what you tell me, and you get this all the time probably too, right? It's like, you don't understand, Jeff. My business is different.
I am super unique. My market is, you don't understand my customers. Yeah. Yeah, all the time.
I hear that from 90% of people.
It's so weird. Every business is different. Maybe like you all have the same problems and I can solve them. Nope. I have very different. I was like, fine. I'm not arguing with you, but yeah.
So yeah, you always want to be respectful, especially with this type of thing. So I'm like, look, and some, you know, it sounds like you guys have a really good sales back end, but we'll still work once a week for the first month and try to minimize or, you know, patch any holes in the bucket and help you to use high level, use the marketing and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Make it all nice.
So you've learned those objections and bake in solutions to those objections over the course of time, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. Still
Fantastic.
learning.
Yeah, it's not part of the process, right? I'm still figuring out the further along I get in my journey, the more I realize how far I have to go. Right. But it's just progress, right? So you have a VA sending messages, you get really specific with your avatar, really specific with the solution. That way people are so like, I want that right now. Here's my phone number. Let's book an appointment. You get them on the phone. You do your onboarding docs. You do the next close, which is you establish dominance and authority real fast by saying, it's one of two things. You figure out the numbers. And what you're selling is not just Facebook ads, but like a branding package with direct measure results. It's some branded program, right? And in it, they're getting the website. They're getting the pseudo magazine, right? An ebook. They're getting sales training, and on day 31, you're going to turn on their Facebook ads after you solve all their problems in their business. You turn on Facebook ads, you start generating leads, you realize that they obviously didn't pay attention to the sales training. They obviously started following up, but that's just part of the journey they're going to learn over time. And you're sending phone calls pretty consistently. What I really like about what you're doing is your clients' customers. You just need one to prove this darn thing works. You've got somebody that could spend between 5 and 15 grand. And then you're like, I just need two of those. Are you jumping up and down, right, Mr. Customer? And they go, of course.
Yeah. Our STEM, our our one big guy, he's closed 30 grand this month. That he reported in high level.
It's just always they always downplay that every time.
Yeah.
It's like you called back all the leads and made an F ton of money. No, we called back all the leads and make a lot of money. Well, you're gonna renew anyway. Yes. It's like, yeah, lying about the numbers. All right, guys, ask your questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, ideas. Now is the time, and we'll see what's going on. Ben Smith says, do your retainers include ad spend, or is that separate, or is it extra? How do you treat that?
Great question, Ben. I too am, like I said, I experiment with price almost every sale, and I used to combine them, but I'm going back to separating them, and here's why. I've heard horror stories about people getting charged back. I've never had a charge back ever, but then if you're spending 2 of 5 or 1,500 of 5, which is typical,
about 20-30%, yeah.
Yeah. And you're charged that back. Well, now you got to front the cost of the ads.
Yeah.
So when this is like a whole can of worms, like literally. And here's why I say that is because when I was offering just one top line number, I was offering a lead guarantee also.
Yep.
So it's like, $5 grand,
30 customer opportunities. I only make $150 per, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Right. So they rationalized like, it's actually 150 or whatever per lead. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Now I've gone back to charging a little bit lower on the retainer, but then I say, hey, you could spend as much as you want on ads.
Gotcha.
We recommend first month, 1,000 minimum. And then I say right after that, you're probably wondering why you would ever pay me, the agency, us, $4 grand and only spend 1,000 in media buy.
Yeah.
Here's why.
Gotcha.
Because if you don't put them through this entire strategic choreographed quiz funnels, retargeting video, blah, 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 follow up, it's like you could spend $1,000 on Facebook today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make that 1,000 stretch, and we're gonna squeeze every penny out of it.
Yeah.
And without that calculated, choreographed, strategic, start to finish marketing plan,
Yeah.
you
Just a waste of $1,000.
right.
Gotcha.
So I'll even say, look, we're not the cheap guys. If you want something, you could go somewhere else.
You can go back to Upwork if you want. You can go back to, Fiverr. That's cool. I understand. But what you're getting is specific to us, and we're going to solve your problem, something like that. For context, my hypothesis is that once you start dealing with multiple locations, it makes sense to break it apart. Once you start dealing with people who have like a semblance that they're not owner-operators, they start to break it apart because they have a dedicated marketing budget. And they're trying to find a person to run it. Either it's their senior vice president of marketing or an agency. That's my sneaking suspicion.
Dude, it's so funny you bring that up because, and I was talking to Alex about this last night.
Yeah.
How many C-level marketing people we speak with,
Yeah.
and their job, and maybe this is like in the job description, their only job is to find people like us who actually know how to do what we're talking about here to freaking do it.
Yep. Like, I spent 20 years in marketing to stop working in marketing.
To
now
be a broker.
Yeah, like what? What the fuck are you talking about?
What's going on in the world?
Like, I remember, and this is my bike shop guy. He last month spent $9,000 with me. Owns 4 bike shops. Doesn't sell a bike worth less than $5,000, right?
Amazing.
Like, his website, mind-fucking-blowingly horrible. I don't, understand how it is. But his marketing person loves it. Because the colors are on point. I'm like, really? Like, you're talking about the colors? Like, maybe you should start talking about, customer opportunities and direct measure response and return on investment. Nope, it's the colors that bring people in. I'm like, oh my fucking God, are you retarded? Like, I can't believe it. Like, it happens all the time. I'm realizing now that more marketing people are becoming more like legal general counsel. Like,
consulting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the way, legal counsel works, general counsel is like, all right, we can have the conversation, I'm sitting in the meetings, I have the context to understand it. Let's go find a specialist.
Yeah.
Right? And so, more senior vice president of marketing positions, especially in businesses that have an F ton of locations, are becoming the I'll go find a guy person. And I don't like that because I feel like that's hampering their growth, but they're going to pay me, so what am I going to tell them, right?
Right.
So to answer your question, I totally lost it. He keeps it, you're going to start separating them.
So I was doing it together for about a year, and then I just started separating them again.
Gotcha.
So my top line revenue number is going to be a little bit less, but we're growing. It'll be more anyways.
Yeah.
But my margin will be a lot higher.
Perfect. Gotcha. Liz says, what about that money back guarantee? Do you set expectations when it happens if you don't reach results? Do you have a money back guarantee? Do you have a risk assessment, a risk aversion policy, or anything like that?
Yeah, that's a great question, a great concept in marketing, risk reversal, like put them at ease, like let's come aboard.
Yeah.
So I do, and I did with the top line, 5K, X amount of leads, and I tried doing hearing aid niche.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
Hearing aids, audiology, and hearing aids are hard. Yeah.
Tough cookie to crack on Facebook. So didn't meet the lead guarantee for the guy, and I just let the campaign run a little bit longer, made very, very little money on the account,
Yeah.
and then we both decided, hey, dude, I wish it would have worked better, but look, at the end of the day, at least you got a beautiful website from us.
Right. And he doesn't feel so horrifically like screwed over or anything like that.
Right.
So what I've discovered with like lead guarantees and stuff like that, it's like for most businesses, they say they want more business, but they really can't handle more business. Like at the most, they can properly call back one person a day. They'll never admit it, but all the analytics, and in my experience, if I send more than one lead a day to a small business owner operator like a chiropractor or a plumber, they're gonna fuck it up. It's not gonna happen. And if I send a whole bunch, like 10 in one day, they're just gonna fuck up all 10. But if I send one a day every day for 10 days, they'll improve over time.
Yeah.
So for normal businesses, owner operator, 30 customer opportunities guaranteed. If I don't hit 30 in 1 month, I just pay your next month's ad bill for you. What I do is, because I still do small owner operated businesses, I just include the ad spend. So if I don't hit the 30, or if it looks like I'm not tracking it, I up the ad spend. If for whatever reason I still don't hit it, I just send another invoice saying it's paid, right? Like FreshBooks just market is paid, and then we're done.
Oh, so you do it. So you do one top line number and you include ads.
Correct. That's how it's worked for like all my clients and my customers. As I started to hit, like there's a home healthcare business in Doral, United something. Everyone can find it now. Whatever. So like the home healthcare business.
Yeah.
Like
Good business.
multi-million dollar business. Like multi like we're talking like they do $2-3 million a month in revenue, right?
Yeah.
They did not want to spend $2,900 a month with me because I did not bid big enough, and because I did not separate. But my bike shop and my car wash wanted to buy from me,
Right.
because I bid correctly and I kept it together. So
Should have added a 0.
Should have added 0, right? And there's somebody in my inner circle that like they just doubled their prices and they started getting more deals. I don't understand it. but it's just how
With
it
bigger companies like that.
works. Correct. Yeah, like he got like a $30,000 deal. I don't understand. Like you just double your prices and get paid more, right? Napoleon says, with Facebook ads to acquire clients, do you send them a VSL? Do you do link clicks? How does that happen? So like, are you doing an image to VSL? Are you just going directly to booking appointment? How do you handle that?
Ooh, this is some.
Yeah. And Napoleon, by the way, who asked that question, just pitched his first $180,000 deal.
Whoa.
Yeah.
A month?
No, a year, but yeah, it's still a big number. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm doing some ninja shit, I like to think, on Facebook. I will tell you guys that we're not driving them to a VSL right away, and we are leading with the direct response offer, and we're doing a combination of brand awareness, reach, video view, and lead form.
Gotcha.
So
no VSL, probably going straight to your calendar.
yeah.
Gotcha. That's all you're comfortable with sharing. Like, you want to go into more detail?
You can say no.
The
detail
okay. Yeah.
the detail is what I just gave you guys. A lot of people think just do a conversions campaign, but let me ask you a question. If you were to have X amount of people hit a landing page and not opt in, and then you run a reach campaign to those people, and the goal is reach,
Yeah,
you think you may have a better shot at getting your message in front of those people?
I do that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do.
I do that.
So we experiment a lot, and we're still tweaking. I mean, every day I learn something new every day, right? Yeah. And so combination of brand awareness, reach, lead form, video view, and then conversion.
Fantastic. We're gonna take 2 more comments, and then we're gonna do we'll do a strategy session, then 2 more questions. So
Beautiful.
Are you open to like 3 people like spending some time with you, like figuring out the details of it?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like hashtag Scott my face. Like, are you cool with that, or do you want to like have something different? No, you're okay with like
oh yeah
hashtag Scott my face?
That's different enough where
because Ball Deep was like, nah man, I want balls in my face.
I
was like, do not say that, Ball Deep. And then he definitely said it on the stream. I was like, god damn it. But Ball Deep is like super awesome, very successful.
He is the man.
Yeah,
love him.
So if you want to spend more time with Scott and figure out what exactly it is, like your whole package, how you're selling this, building the website and all that stuff, just hashtag Scott my face, right? And then I'll find 3 people and I'll send you a PM.
Yeah.
And then you can either do like one-on-one calls, or you could do a group call and then just take it from there.
We'll do one-on-one calls.
So there you go. That works.
Yeah.
And so we've got Robert Hubbs, Stephen Folks, folks, and Martin Kenny. And then there's a bunch of people other well, so we'll see what happens, right?
Oh, I have a gift for you on
You do?
live stream here.
Oh, that's exciting.
You ready?
Is it a landing page?
No,
No.
it's a secret thing that you
It's
can open.
secret? What is it? Oh, you gave me a ball. Is this just a ball?
Not just any ball.
What does it do? Oh, it's for chapstick.
Yeah.
Because I always put on chapstick. Like, it sounds weird, but when I do my webinars, my teeth get dry and my mouth gets dry. And when I use chapstick, my lips don't stick. It sounds fucking weird.
Were you at ClickFunnels 2 years ago?
No. Why? What happened?
Same type of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's chapstick. Super cool. Thank you very much. I'm excited. I'm going to put it on the wall so everybody knows.
Oh, you could use it.
I could probably use it too, right? We got 2 more questions, then we're going to bring the sucker to a close. Adam says, landing page, lead gen ads, or Facebook forms?
All the above. Test them all.
All of the above.
What matters is your messaging to your avatar.
Yeah.
But I mean, we literally just started paid ads, and we built to 50K plus without paid ads. Like, we just started paid ads like less than 2 weeks ago.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what about for your clients? Are you doing like how do you do customer acquisition? Is that like a landing page form or is that a lead form?
Well, we just started customer acquisition. Oh, for the clients?
Yeah. So there's client acquisition, there's customer acquisition, right? So when somebody signs on and says I'm going to pay $5,500 a month, day 31, right? Are you doing landing pages or lead ads?
For the Kairos, we're doing lead ads, and then for everything else, we're doing funnels.
Gotcha. What's really cool, by the way, again, plug for Robin, with lead ads, low quality, a lot of signups, right? But just keep hitting them with a voicemail drop. Say, like, hey, we're running a special. Did you want to call the business? Press 1 to get in touch with an operator right now. Text message, voicemail drop. And now you can sell your client not leads, but phone calls, which is like super fun. So like for people who are like commenting, and this always comes up like Facebook lead gen ads are lower quality. It probably is. Doesn't fucking matter because you got the follow up.
Right.
Last question is from Amon. Says, how do you charge businesses with multiple locations? Say you charge $5K a month, they get 4 locations. Does that become $20K a month? Do they negotiate you down? How do you approach that scenario? Are you going in and saying, I'm so glad this worked out for you. Give me 4 more locations and I'll cut you a deal. Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So you kind of have to feel it out, I think, is the short answer. So really fortunate that the one client, they're cool at 6K by 4, but like when we expand more, they're, hey, like, let's work something out that's more favorable towards us.
Charge less money. Yeah.
Yeah, and say, hey, look, we're happy to have you. We're happy that we're helping you, and happy to work something out that's mutually beneficial. Yeah.
Yeah.
How I pose it is, look, whenever we go into a new market, it has to be full price because we need to do testing, which is true. Yep. We need to, see what the costs are, and we need the full budget. So if you want to do multiple locations in New Jersey, Nevada, South Florida.
Different market, different language, totally different setup. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I start. But I'm always willing to negotiate. But like your bike company, for example, it's priced. You could probably even price it more if you wanted to.
Yeah. So like we do videos. Like I'm his CMO, right? So I do my 90-second videos for me, and then I put on the shirt, and I do 90-second videos for bikes, right? And it works really, really well.
Yeah.
And so when he brings on another location, I always charge extra because I have to run the customer research, do the tests, all that stuff. And as it turns out, Brickell is entirely different than South Miami. You've experienced that, right? Like,
is this South Miami?
Yeah, this is South Miami. Yeah,
totally different.
Totally different. And so is Brickell, which is very different than downtown. And so is Coral Gables and
South Beach. Yep.
Yeah, it's like totally separate. So when he does a new location, I say, great, I'm going to charge you customer research just like normal. When that is taken care of, we can go back to the normal program, right?
Yeah.
And like, since my program includes customer research, it's communicated as a discount, right? Like, great, I'm gonna charge you $2,900. Once customer research proves the campaign works, then we can bring it down to $2,500, right? So that's how I do that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's all about posturing and positioning, and you name certain things, and you create little processes, and when you do that, people like look at you as an authority figure and someone that knows what they're doing.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. But it's working, and then you're proof.
Yeah, just have a whiteboard. It'll get you 90% of the way. Yeah. Like, I've been on, like, somebody from the public group was PMing my chiro, right? And I've got his business manager, so I was responding like I was the chiropractor. because everyone's be like, hey man, good job, but great sales pitch, but it's not gonna happen. This is my chiropractor, which has happened like 5 or 6 times. Fine, I get it, no big deal. But I remember like responding to him in my head going, no man, you need a branded program. Stop saying Facebook ads, because businesses have tried Facebook ads. If it hasn't worked, they've knocked it off. Stop bringing up Facebook ads. Have your own branded program like the Wallet Out campaign or whatever you've got. Have something different, unique. I run customer research. You have the magazine and the website and like the ebook and stuff like that. Like, have something else that makes them say yes. Then, by the way, you can run Facebook ads in the back end to keep them and like the ROI campaigns and direct measured results, stuff like that. I don't know why I brought that up, but yeah, man, like shit works.
It all relates to the big picture here. And I think a lot of people that are just getting started in this space like miss what we're talking about, and it's so critically important for long-term success. Fantastic. I believe.
Was there anything else you wanted to go over before we bring the sucker to a close?
I think this has been great, dude.
I think this has been all of it. Yeah.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
No, this is
great
super fun.
studio. Yeah.
So just for context, you did direct selling. You're like, oh, I could make more money doing Facebook ads, right? Got your first big client, developed a branded program, and now when you talk to a client, you don't lead with Facebook ads. You lead with all the warm and fuzzy stuff, and Facebook ads are your back end. And you'll do sales training, you'll do the automatic follow-up, you'll do the magazine, the website. I mean, you'll even do their own ebook.
Yeah.
Which I think, did you get that idea from Bob Manget, or you got the idea from somewhere else? Because I got the book idea from Bob Manget. That's why I have a fucking book. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Where's your book at?
It's like somewhere in here. Maybe not. I don't know. Like, there's a book with my face on it. It's a bad idea to put a book on your face on your book. Nobody wants to buy a book with your face on it.
But it's credibility. All you need to do is take a picture of you in your book.
Yeah, like I can be like, no, Mr. Johnson, I wrote the book on Facebook ads. They're like, oh, I should spend money with you. I go, yes.
Yeah.
So that type of stuff. Yeah.
Where'd I get the idea? I would say it's been a combination of things. Like
Yeah.
I said, Dan Kennedy, I'm a big student of Dan
Yeah.
Kennedy. The programs I've invested in have definitely helped, and even like someone watching this today and then taking like one thing away from this, whether it's just naming your program something,
Yeah.
like that's huge. Where'd you get it from? I just got it from these two weird guys in this
Two
Facebook
dudes in
group.
a
So
little dark room built by Brandon Becker, right?
yeah.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, man.
Well, it's been absolutely fantastic having you, Becker. I think we're bringing it to an end. We don't actually have an outro or anything like that. So
no, you guys just kind of like
just stare at each other.
You clink your cups and then an explosion happens.
And then he manually puts an explosion. So like we'll do that. Don't actually like smash it.
Right.
Like just like ever so casually, bink, and then like in the YouTube it'll explode.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. All right, let's bring the sucker to close, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. For the people that got the strategy sessions, I'll send you a direct PM, and we'll catch you guys later.
Thank you so much, dude.
It's been super fun, right?
Yeah, this was great.
Yeah.
You're the man.
Isn't it fun? I like this stuff, right? Thank you for the chapstick.
Yeah.
Are we still streaming?
Wait, hold on.
This always happens. We're never quite sure how the internet works.
I was gonna bring you a pop socket, but I figured you're already solid on your brand. Unless you want one, I'll send you one.
I'll take a pop socket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck.